Ever since I was a kid, I had this persistent feeling that I just did not fit the mold. I was the one who preferred single player games, quiet corners, and my own thought was trying to fit into the loud, chaotic groups at school. For a long time, that came with heavy tax, intense and out of nowhere anxiety. My heart would race, my body would feel completely drained, and I felt like I was constantly trapped in my own head. But being the weird kid is absolutely the double edged sword, because right on the flip side of the crippling anxiety was a ridiculous and almost obsessive amount of ambition. I had this quiet fire inside me that I could not let it go waste, and for the longest time, I did not know where to put it. When you are young, around 11 or 12, everyone tells you to dream big. You tell people you want to become a professional athlete, an artist, a millionaire, and adults smile and tell you how creative you are. But a weird thing happens the moment you hit your mid-teens. Suddenly those exact dreams becomes unrealistic. I remember letting people know I wanted to build a business, make media and become entrepreneur. And instead of encouragement, I got hit with every single practical excuse in the book. That market is too crowded, it costs too much money to start, you don't have the look or the background for that. It sets up a dangerous trap in your head. You start asking yourself, am I supposed to completely fake my personality, hide my real goals, and just suffer in silence? Or am I supposed to speak truth and get laughed at everyone around me? Most people choose to hide, they blend in. But if you are the weird kid, blending in feels like a slow death of sentence. So you decide to fight back. You decide you have to prove them wrong. When you are desperate to prove people wrong, you became the perfect target for shortcuts. You see your peers making a little bit of money at normal jobs, and your urgency goes through the roof. You look for the fast lane. I remember taking what little money I had scrapped together and threw it into a get quick online course online. I did not ask anyone, I just jumped. And surprise, surprise, it was an absolute scam. Everything in that course was a basic information I could have looked up on a 5 3-minute free YouTube video. My account was wiped out. I was completely broke, embarrassed, and terrified. But looking back, that scam was one of the greatest things that has ever happened to me. Because early success is a curse. When people get lucky right out of the gate, they never question their own foundation. They think they are geniuses. But because they have not built the actual character required to hold into that success, they eventually lose all the money, the influence, the happiness, and they have no idea how to rebuild. If you are struggling right now, you are failing repeatedly, look at the protective mechanism. The universe is forcing you to become the type of person who can actually maintain the weight of your dreams once they finally come true. After that failure, my mindset shifted. I stopped chasing a quick buck and decided I wanted to build something real. I poured myself into creating content, trying to build an audience. I spent years grinding on short form videos app, making cringy videos, trying to find my voice, and I eventually built a massive following. On paper, I had the status, but locally I was still the outcast. People at my school or in my town did not see the vision. They just saw someone making a fool of themselves online. I would see people I knew in public and my anxiety would go spike so hard I literally fake a call just to avoid looking at them in the eye. And then the floor fell out from under me. My main social media account got permanently banned. Years of work vanished overnight. The very thing that gave me my identity and status was gone, and the people around me whispered that I had fallen off right on the heels of that. I faced immense personal loss in my family. I sprained right back into the dark, heavy place where I felt completely directionless. When you lose everything, you realize you only have two choices. You accept the label the person who tried and failed, or you can become so intensely unapologetically authentic that no one is ignoring you. I went back to the basic. I stopped making generic content. I stopped repeating the same old self help script everyone else was copying paste online. You know, the usual discipline over motivation clinches. Instead, I just started to tell my actual story, the embarrassing parts, the failures, the anxiety, the scams, and that's where everything got changed. The growth did not just crawl, it exploded. Thousands of subscribers turns into tens and thousands and eventually hundreds and thousands. I hope it will turn in a matter of days. It worked because I finally had the courage to say raw and uncomfortable things that other people were afraid to admit. That the biggest lesson I've learned from this entire journey is that massive results require massive patience mixed with aggressive sense of daily urgency. You have to give everything actual and appropriate time to grow. We always ask for the flowers, but we get mad when it starts to rain. We forget that you literally cannot have the flowers without the downpour. The anxiety, the setbacks, the people laughing at you, that is not a sign that you are losing. That is the exact raw material being used to shape your character. It is going to be hard. It is supposed to be hard. But if you're in your own, the weird kid world, you already know what it's like to stand alone. Lean into it and use it. And I will see you in the next one.